he's kind of captivating in playing that kind of crazy,
unhinged,
druggy criminal.
Today we're talking about Swallowed, which is available to stream this week. It has been showing at the BFI Flair Festival for 2023. So let's talk about Swallowed then. This is a horror, sci-fi, drama, queer horror nightmare about drugs, bugs, and the extremes we're willing to endure to protect the ones we love. That's what it says in the synopsis. An intriguing story. A lot of it, I would say, is probably, let's face it, that picture on the poster is a bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, it's a man, like shirtless man leaning back with his throat kind of extended, so you kind of know something very terrible is happening inside of his body. Let's just say that.
Yeah. It's kind of alien-like, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not normal. That's not a normal human body.
It's not normal. It's not a way to behave. No. So it's about Benjamin and Dom. What I got from the film was that there was kind of like a romantic connection, but they weren't seeing each other. Is that what you got as well?
Yeah, they seem to be best friends, and Dom is the, I guess, straight one, maybe, one, and then his friend is clearly gay and not is out about it. He's not shy about it. And they seem to be best friends who probably live in a small town in the middle of nowhere, kind of. I think it takes place in Maine, the state of Maine in the U.S., close to the border of, well, Maine, if you don't know your geography, Maine is right on the border of Canada. So, because the main point of the plot is that they're driving over the border from America into Canada. So that in Maine it's like a wilderness. It's just up that far up north. It's just forest and nothingness. So that's kind of the setting of where this takes place.
So they've known each other since they were really young. So there's obviously a very close connection. But there is a bit of friction with a task that they have to go through with, because Benjamin's moving to LA, and I think there's financial problems, and to kind of get out of those financial problems, they do something. They get involved in this big drug deal. So already there's that tension right from the start that you know something bad is going to happen. And boy, yes, it does happen. Something bad really does happen. So they have to take the drugs by swallowing condoms filled with drugs. And that in itself is just such a horrible thought. Not even thinking about what happens eventually in the movie, which we can't really discuss. But that is just, that is so grim.
Yeah, I have a hard time swallowing like hard, big vitamin pills or something. So let alone swallowing, I think in the movie they're probably like this big.
So it stars Jena Malone. Jena Malone is a bit of a nasty character. Obviously she's the drug boss. I would say the gang leader. And it's quite nice to have a woman playing that role, because I mean she's pretty terrifying. She was in The Ruins. The Ruins was another film that this director made. So it's Carter Smith who's the director of Swallowed, and he directed The Ruins. Have you seen that? I haven't seen The Ruins.
Yeah, you should. It's good. It was based on a novel that was really super successful in the horror genre. It was a big hit novel. And I think The Ruins was kind of a big Hollywood film. It had a big, like, major studio backing to it. So this is a lot more indie and smaller of a film, but just as good. I think I actually might even like this more than The Ruins. The Ruins had, like, big budget CG, like, horror animation, which didn't work. But Jena Malone is a really great actress. And she's fantastic in this. She reminded me of the character she played in Neon Demon. Have you seen that movie? Oh, yeah.
I forgot she was in that.
She's great. She kind of she does a good job of playing icy cold, mean, threatening women. Yeah. I don't know if that's her her genre that she wants to keep doing, but in Neon Demon and in this, she's pretty like blunt and in your face, and I kind of like that.
Let's come on to Mark Patton, because those who know Mark Patton will know that he was in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, and some people who are familiar with that film might not recognise him in this unless they've seen him in his documentary. Did you see the film that was based on his story after Nightmare on Elm Street 2? Because obviously he's had a lot of problems.
Yeah, it was kind of about his career, kind of never... before Nightmare on Elm Street, he did actually a Robert Altman film. So he was in the film Come Back to the Five and Dime with Cher and Kathy Bates and Karen Black and Sandy Dennis, all these big Oscar-nominated actors or actresses. And that was his first movie role, so he's kind of poised to maybe, and then he's the lead in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. So I think he thought his career was going to keep going up and be this like big kind of Tom Cruise level star or something, but he never achieved that kind of fame. So he kind of spiraled into kind of not having a great life for a while. So Doc is interesting about discovering what he's been at since the 80s. And he's actually, I mean, I don't think I'm speaking out of line saying that he's a total ham in this film. And he must know that he's just like chewing the scenery and acting like a huge crazy queen. I mean, I think that's the character's, background, but he's great at that. He kind of bulldozes his way into the movie, and he's kind of captivating in playing that kind of crazy,
unhinged,
druggy criminal. He's
really
good
absolutely.
at it.
I mean, because he is definitely camp and really over the top, but I think he's having a lot of fun with it. I think he definitely, kind of embraces that ability to play something really extreme, because he's pretty terrifying as well. I mean, yes, he's camp, but he's quite scary. I think his performance, you just know that he is about to cut a bitch.
Oh, completely. Waving his gun around and like slinging off little like insults and stuff. It's funny because before he comes in, I should say, the movie's a pretty dark. There's no humor in it, I don't think, and it's pretty dark, involving horror thriller. And then when he comes in, it becomes a little bit more dark comedy mixed with horror. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, it's almost like it's two movies, because the first half is like the road trip, obviously the drug deal and what happens, and then obviously that moves on to, they go to a restroom or toilet if you're in the UK, and obviously that's where the deal has to continue, but things go wrong, should we say. And it's kind of like there's two parts, because that second part with Mark Patton is a lot more kind of involving. It's not quite so slow paced, there's a lot more going on, so it does grab you, I think, right from the start, because it has a real mood about it. It's got a real atmosphere.
Yeah, it looks really fun. For a small indie film, it looks really great. The acting is really pretty great in it. The cinematography, most of it takes place outdoors or in the forest or driving or in a cabin. The second half of the film is in a cabin in the woods, basically. It's actually pretty well made film.
Without saying too much, it's pretty icky. I mean, there are a lot of moments in this that made me feel a bit sick. And it's not just the fact that you've got, they've got to swallow drugs in condoms. It's not just that and what happens afterwards. There's a lot of anal probing.
Yeah, well. I mean, when they eat something, it has to come out the other end. So that's a bit... And it's drugs, so they have to retrieve it in order to have the drugs to get to sell, whatever. So there's a lot of story and plot around how they're going to get these drug balloons out of these men's basically. I don't know if I can say it. And some of it's dark humor and some of it's scary, like body horror kind of stuff.
I mean, it's pretty nasty. I don't think it's too nasty, though.
It's not like David Cronenberg body modification.
Yeah, it's implied, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go for the verdict then. I'm going to go for a very strong 3 stars for Swallowed.
I'm going to agree with you. I think it's well worth your time watching. It's not very long either. I think it's under an hour and a half. It's a really tightly paced, really moves it along kind of thriller where there's like a starting point and a destination, and you kind of, I should say what you're going to get, but you don't know what you're going to get. It's a drug deal gone wrong film, so you know where it's going, but you don't really know what that means.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought it was good. It's called Swallowed. It is available to stream digitally online. We are Boys on Film. My name is Phil, and I'm with Matt. Thank you, Matt, and thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the video that's on the screen now. We'll see you on the next one.